26. I'm Abigail Blackrick. Today in Clare, Michigan, at the world-famous bakery, Cops and Doughnuts, speaking to three of the owners, Ale, also known as Bubba, Richard, also known as Junior, and John, who goes by Beaver. You guys, first, why don't we start off by just having a little bit of a brief history about Cops and Doughnuts?
It kind of started on a whim in 2009. A couple of the owners, there's 9 of us total, came up with the idea, actually discussed it over lunch, and kind of wrote out our business plan on a pizza box, I believe it was, and got together with all full-time 9 owners of the Clare City Police Department in 2009. Bakery was for sale, it was closing. It had been a landmark in the community for decades, so we didn't want to see that go. So we all got together and we all chipped in evenly, and we decided to buy it and make it our own and keep the bakery alive in town. And we kind of took it from there with the creative name, figured it's our bakery. We can call it, it's owned by cops, we can call it Cops and Doughnuts. So.
Absolutely. So it's owned all by cops, and it still is, to this day, those 9 original owners, right?
Absolutely, yep.
And so being that it's all owned by cops, you guys have obviously a very special place in all of your hearts for taking care of your brothers and sisters in the force. Tell me a little bit about some of the things you guys do.
Well, we're very community-oriented that we do a lot of stuff here locally, but we also like to support our officers across the country as much as we possibly can. In fact, in May of this year, we went to National Police Week in Washington, D.C. for the 4th time in a row. This year was quite a big event. It was the 25th anniversary nationally of doing it on there. And this year they had it on the National Mall. And it's really neat to be there and have over 25,000 people out there on the National Mall at night with candle lights shining and speakers from the Attorney General of the United States through different senators and congressmen and different leaders in law enforcement, all expressing their thoughts and sympathies to people that have lost their lives in the job of trying to protect people of our country. And very moving. There's a few times that you want to cry. But we're there for all the families, because the whole front of that area is just filled of family members that have lost a loved one in law enforcement. And so we're there to support them and to also show the people out there that people do care in law enforcement and that we have to stay together.
Definitely. What a great way to show your support. And so this year you also did something special that's a little different than what you normally have done. Tell me about that, Bubba.
It was different, but it was a lot of fun. 2 weeks ago, Colonel Etchew from the State Police, Michigan State Police, was here speaking in town, and she mentioned that she was sending down 160 state troopers to the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, and how she was, worried about them and hoped they all came back safely. And we as a group got talking and thought, what if we brought donuts down to our brothers and sisters in law enforcement that were down there in that hot sun protecting everybody? And so another officer and our chief operating officer put a whole bunch of donuts in a van and drove down to Cleveland and had a great time meeting with the officers down there. And they came back with some great stories, and we got talking and thought, you know what, Philadelphia's not that far away. So we decided to go to the Democratic National Convention, and we took a specific number of donuts for that one. We took 1,776 donut holes down to the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia, and it was another great experience. We met a lot of officers from different departments down there, gave them some sweet treats, and it was just an overwhelming experience. We loved it. We'd love to do it again.
I can only imagine how wonderful that was, and what an overwhelming experience both of those things that you guys went to were. And so you made sure that these officers, who clearly had their hands full at both of these conventions, also had their stomachs full, and that they were taken care of. What were some of the responses you got from officers there thanking you for that?
I can't speak for Cleveland, but with Philadelphia, what we heard over and over is, I can't believe you guys drove all night to bring us fresh donuts. They just couldn't believe that we would do that for them, and they were very grateful.
That's great. And so now moving forward, Cops and Doughnuts, it started here in Clare, but you guys have shops all over Michigan, and now you're starting one in Indiana. Tell me about that.
Well, today we just signed for our new store in Indiana, so we got a big project ahead of us. We hope to be open by the end of August down there, and it's going to be a big move. Right now we have over 130 employees without that store, and with that one it's going to be a big one. So we're really hoping to serve the people around us. Everybody seems to be welcoming us with open arms. The local police departments have been great. They can't wait for us to come and be part of their community too, which is great because our family is growing every time we go to another store.
Definitely. You started community oriented and you still are. You're just spreading. And so, really quick, would you just tell if you have a favorite thing here at Cops and Doughnuts for any viewer who thinks they want to visit? Is there a special treat that they should look for?
We have, I mean, if you take our donuts in comparison to a lot of the major corporate stores and the bigger national bakeries, there's a large difference. I mean, granted, ours are all scratch made daily,
Yeah.
but the size is one thing that people like to rave about. Our donuts are much bigger. We like to say they taste better than anything else out there as well. And you can just tell that they're made with pride. And with every bakery that we've bought, the bakeries were family owned and had decades of history that we've kept alive using those recipes, and the same happened with Claire. I mean, we've kept that great flavor and great quality alive, and I think ours are just a little bit bigger and above board than what everyone's used to seeing. So that's the most pleasant surprise people get when they walk through the door, beyond the smell and everything that you can take in visually.
Well, that's great. I know I just love what you guys are doing here, and I look forward to trying exactly what it is you guys are doing here, so thank you. In Claire at Cops and Doughnuts, I'm Abigail Blackrick with My News 26.